Hi, my name is Anthony Garrison with LaminateFlooringInstalled.com, and today I'm going to explain how I install the last row of laminate flooring. Here I have I guess you could call it a sliver that runs from one end of the wall down to the other. I installed the whole room, so this is how I end up on the other side. Now, the walls are not exactly parallel, so down at this end it's a little thinner, it's not as wide, and then as you go down the room it gets wider at this end. So what I have to do is I have to measure each board that I cut separately and mark them and then cut them. So what I'm going to do is I will measure each end of the board where the sliver is going to go. So I'll measure here, and I allow a 1/4 inch gap, so that measures 1 1/4 inches. So I'll mark this end 1 inch right here with my pencil, make a mark, and then down here that measures 1 3/4 inches. So I'll mark this one about 1.5 inches here on this side. So it's off a little bit from there to here. I've got my 2 marks on the plank, so I'll use another plank as a straight edge, and I'll line up the marks. Then I'll just draw a line here. Okay, so that'll be my first cut, and I'll take this out and cut it on the table saw. And then once I get that one, I'll lay another plank in place. My next plank will go right here, or should I say my next sliver. So I'll measure this end the same as the end I just did. That was 1.5 inches, so I'll mark this one 1.5 inches. Then I'll come down here, measure this end. This end is 1 7/8, so I'll cut it 1 5/8. So I'll mark this one here. I use the board as a straight edge again, line up my marks like so, mark it with a pencil. That's my second board, and then my last board is not a full board right there. So first I'll figure the length I need, make a mark here where it's going to go. I reverse the board, so it's reversed as the way it's going to lay. And after I do that, I got my mark here. So then I measure this. This last one was what, 1 5/8 inches. Measure 1 5/8 inches here, and then the corner that measures 2 inches. I'll measure this 1 3/4 inches, and then I draw this, line up the marks. Go to there. This is going to be cut off here, so I just need this piece here. Now I'll take these out, cut them on the table saw, and I have actually I did that ahead of time, so now I'm coming back in after I cut them, I lay the sliver in here like this. Try to get it down in there. Use my pull bar. And kind of tap it in. A lot of times it'll want to go up because it needs to go down, so I'll put this right on the edge, give it a little hit down, make sure it's flat. Okay, there's my second one. Bring that in. You see there's a space there. Not all laminating is this tough. You can't just hit it like that. Some of it will show, you know, some of the inexpensive flooring. So now I have a small end joint which needs to come together right here. Make sure it's flat. But what I use is my tapping block. Very carefully I line it up at the end like so. So I can't get it in regular, but I just line it up and I just kind of tap it easy. Making sure not to mess up the top of the laminate edge. Got that in. I'm putting baseboard up here, so I'll use it to check to make sure it's going to cover the gap good. Make sure that I didn't cut the slivers too small. And then I got my last piece here. So the corner piece will go in right there. So we'll get that. Drop this in like so. Pull bar. Pull bar at the end to bring this gap here together. Over here. So there you go. It's called the sliver down the wall. You see, there's a nice gap. Goes all the way down to the corner. This here will be cut off down here when I put the baseboard up, so it'll give me plenty of clearance. Just like this one here will be cut off. So there you go. That's pretty much how you do it. When you can cut these slivers with, you know, different types of saws also. You might want to use it, you could use a jigsaw or whatever kind of saw is good for you. But I use a table saw. It seems to be the most efficient way to cut these. So anyway, that's how I install the last row of laminate flooring. So check it out on laminateflooringinstalled.com for more information. Thank you.